second formulation. The second formulation consists of this CS and big only, because I combine. Because big is good in good biologically, CS is good physically, so I combine it. And then what you see is in the second surfactant system, you see that 5% glycerol is a better diluent than normal water. And then of course you compare between bentonite and kaolin. Bentonite is more superior. I don't have the raw data. If you see the raw data, you will know why bentonite is better than kaolin many times. And then of course, subsequently, I also use this surfactant system, use bentonite and 5% glycerol in my subsequent surfactant system. Look at surfactant system number 3. You see surfactant system number 3, I've already combined. I make this fixed, I fix this, all fixed, and now I look into the editing. But it's a big trade-off on physical performance. Generally, it's not needed. So I seek the balance between physical and biological performance, which is surface, ligand sulfonate, the two dispersants, a wetter, bentonite, and 5% glycerol. That's all I need. No need additive. Because additive actually does lower the cost for any formulation. What I found during formulating a total weight paper, this corroborates with what I said earlier, which, by the way, is aggregated determination that 5% glycerol is way much better than your diluent DDH2O. So it just corroborates with my earlier results. And what I found during formulating is also the fluctuation in conidia viability during the whole process. What happens is, in every process, all the 22 formulations, every process like I described just now, I sample out some conidia to see what happens. Where is the process that actually affects the conidia the most? So, you read the key. First, it's okay, it's between here and here. Then it goes from, it drops during dry blending. Then it increases during extruding. When I add diluent here, it increases probably because of the enzyme activation of the conidia, especially when you add water or diluent. And then it's the same throughout extruding and mixing. And then it drops back to normal during drying, about 17%, actually it's quite a lot. The conidia viability drops during drying. So this is what I found out. And then what happens during storage? Now that I've learned about the formulation, I want to learn about the shelf life of each of my formulations. I've only selected 6 important formulations for this experiment to test the shelf life. So these are the 6 formulations as listed here. Not very sure you can read for yourself. I store it 7 days at 7 days, 3 different temperatures, and then I store it 15 days again. Continue storing it 15 days at 3 different temperatures, and then for 30 days a month, and also 3 different temperatures. It's kind of sad, like why this. Let's just say that there is no formulation that could be stored over 30 days. Quite disappointing. But there's one glimmer of hope. There's one silver lining here, which is sodium acetate and sodium arginate here. It's compatible to unformulated and oil formulated conidia. There's only one here, and what I can say is that I suggest that my formulation you have to store in the home. That's what I can say. Alright. And of course this is I test it against the insect, and I test whether my formulation is better or raw unformulated conidia is better. So I test it against 2 kinds of pests. One is the Frutella. One again, like I mentioned before, the ladybird, the Aphilarma indica, that kills that eats leaves of brinjal and eggplant. So what I found is there's not much differences between the raw conidia, unformulated conidia, and my conidia and my formulation. Though it might look like a big gap between here, but it's actually between 2.5 days. Here 3 days, here 2 days, 1 day difference. Not much. Maybe about 1.3 to 1.6 times greater than compared to my formulation only. So although it is the depth slower for my formulation, the depth for LC50 is slower. It's still commendable and comparable, taking into account that my formulation is exposed to all kinds of ingredients and processes, still working quite properly. Then another one is I test the volume application rate on the mortality of Danobacmol. What I do is 3 formulations. This is 3 of my formulations, and this formulation I test it on Xylostella, and I look into the LC50 and see which whether the volume application rate of this formulation would affect the mortality of Xylostella. My hypothesis is very simple, which is high mortality response remains the same for all volume application rates. As you can see, as the volume increases, the death became faster. Here it is kind of random, and then here it positively correlates with as the volume increases, the death also faster. So it positively correlates. However, you have to see that these are not significantly different because the confidence level actually overlaps already. So statistically, although you can see there's a big difference here, statistically it's not significant within each other. Hence, I could say there's no significant difference in time mortality response between low, medium, high volume application rate for all 3 formulations because all of these overlap each other. So, in conclusion, you better read it in your handout because exactly like my handout. So, thank you very much. What I choose to say. Is it this one? Is it?
Oh, you said you have 22 different formulas, but you only evaluate on 6.
Based on actually limitations of my chemical, limitations of Conidia.
How about the performance?
The performance, I would say is negative because it's not comparable to unformulated and oil formulated Conidia. Quite disappointing, but at least one that gives quite the same to unformulated Conidia, and another one here same to unformulated. It's a negative result.
I mean, if you base on the performance of the 22 different formulations, you choose the 6 to evaluate.
No. I choose based on my limitations of my Conidia. I don't have any more Conidia. That is what I have on that time, so I formulate the 6. I cannot compare all 22. It's very crazy.
Yes.
Actually crazy.
Why the 6, the specific 6? Is it you want to evaluate it?
Yeah, I just want to evaluate it.
Why that 6? Why not
based on my just on my experience.
Randomly.
No reason.
Actually, you did say earlier, you will be concentrating more on the mixture of TS and what is that? TS and leak.
Yeah.
And the other formulation, maybe single or.
Yeah, because I found out that the others are not very special enough. I find that
I just remind you what to answer for him.
What is the challenge of the combination being commercialized and making your supervisors rich?
There is potential in terms of like spraying and stuff.